Hey guys, what's going on? Graveyender here, and welcome back to another episode of WWE Immortals. And today we're going to be talking about the backlash of Payback. Kind of like that, because I'm pretty sure Payback did replace Backlash as a post-WrestleMania pay-per-view, but it is it's kind of a little inside joke there from me to you guys. But let's talk about Payback before we do anything else. Payback, it had its ups and downs. Let's just be honest. I'm really happy that Kalisto and Ryback and Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin were all on the kickoff show. Let's just be honest, those were not matches in my eyes that were really worthy of being pay-per-view caliber. Do they have potential? Dolph Ziggler, Kalisto, yeah. Not so much Baron Corbin or Ryback. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Not really big on those guys. Never really have been. So it's better to kind of keep them in the dark as far as I'm concerned, and put them on the heat equivalent or velocity equivalent show before a pay-per-view goes live, and it just worked out better that way to me, and I'm overall happy with that decision. Not really much happened in those matches that would have been that great for a live show anyway, even though it was, you still have to watch it live. It's not like they're tricking anyone here. Then we move on to probably one of the most surprising things of the night in the WWE Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders Tournament Finals. Hear you say that 5 times fast. And the fact that the match had to be ended before it even really got a start because of Enzo Amore getting hurt. And that was absolutely shocking. Like, you didn't know exactly what happened at first. And it could have been a play, but it wasn't. It totally wasn't. Like, the guy was legit hurt, and it's really sad to see that kind of stuff. I mean, the way you land and things of that nature whenever you're inside the ring, it could potentially really, really hurt you. And this is one of those cases. I mean, the guy slipped, fell, hit his head, and ended up with a concussion and was completely knocked. I don't know. If you guys watched it, he was completely knocked out. Like, there was no faking that. It was awful. It's honestly scary to see that kind of stuff, because you never want to see someone get hurt, especially someone that's like in the very beginnings of their WWE career. And Enzo and Big Cass are actually a really good tag team. This match would have been absolutely phenomenal if it could have been able to play it out, because we've seen it in NXT already. So we know what we're getting, and it would have been a great match. We couldn't get it because of unforeseeable circumstances that happened, and I really hated it for him. Hated it for the guy. He took a sick bump. And we move on to Kevin Owens defeating Sami Zayn. It was a good match. It's exactly what I expected from it. I really want to see more out of this, because the guys they've worked together for so long that you can't just like give them a one-off match and be like, oh, well, we're done now. This is one of those things where they've been friends for so long. They know each other. They've worked with each other in the ring for so long that they just have so much potential inside the ring as opponents that it's not even funny, and it's something that WWE needs to really capitalize on and keep moving forward with that. The Miz defeated Cesaro. Don't really expect to see Miz lose that title quite so soon, and we'll get into his opponent for Extreme Rules coming up soon. He could potentially lose it at Extreme Rules, but Dean Ambrose defeated Chris Jericho. That's something that absolutely did need to happen. Dean Ambrose has been really getting kind of the stick the crap end of the stick for a long time now, kind of like Bray Wyatt does. I know they're out. Most of the Wyatt family is out on injury currently, but it's just one of those things. These guys keep getting matched up against people like John Cena, and it's not helping their careers. Whereas you've got guys like Chris Jericho who are more than willing to kind of put them over. So, and then the next three spots are completely like the ones that failed in my eyes. I know what they were trying to go for with the next match, and the Chicago screw job as it's being portrayed now. But it's nice to see that Bret Hart is okay to go along with this kind of storyline because of the crap that went down in the original screw job, the Montreal screw job, and it's nice to see that he's able to play around with this kind of stuff. But I just don't like it. I don't like Charlotte. Plain and simple. I hate Charlotte. I don't think she's that great on the microphone. I don't think she's the best in the world in the ring either. I think that when she was in NXT, she actually had a lot of people that were really good opponents for her to go up against, like Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch, and it just, even Bayley. I think Bayley's better in the ring. Bayley's not exactly the best on a microphone, but I think she's better in a ring than Charlotte is. Charlotte's not really that great of a competitor in the ring, and her microphone skills are absolutely awful. Pairing her with Ric Flair doesn't exactly help either, because Flair is getting up there so far in age that you don't know what's going to happen. Like, he's going to come out to the ring and have a heart attack or anything of that matter. Sometimes he doesn't exactly get over what he wants to on the microphone, and I don't know. Natalya is a great wrestler in the ring. She's been getting a lot better as far as on the microphone goes, and I think that potentially she could make a good WWE Women's Champion, since now it's the WWE Women's Championship again. But I don't know. That's just me going on here. I don't really like the story. I don't like where it's going. I didn't like the next night. The progression that they had for it, it wasn't something I was really intrigued in. And then we move into what I would assume is a segment between Mr. McMahon, Shane McMahon, and Stephanie that was placed because of the fact that they had a lot of runtime left over the fact that Enzo had been hurt, and they just didn't know what to do with it at that point. So they did the best thing that they could and drew out an awful story, awful segment that just didn't work for me at all. I really don't like the conclusion that we have in the fact that both people are in charge of Monday Night Raw, and it's just garbage to me. I mean, there's so many other potential things they could have done. I think a lot of people are just so sick and tired of seeing Steph and Triple H on TV as the authority, and it's time that we need to get that changed. Shane McMahon could potentially be the thing that does change that, and I think it would be good to have him on TV as the controlling figure for at least a little while. And then we move on into the main event, which I thought would be a complete and total failure of life in general and everything else with within. But it actually didn't turn out so bad. The only things I don't like are the one-upmanships of Stephanie and Shane trying to, well, let's restart the match. Keep it going. We're going to make it this so-and-so now. And it didn't need all that garbage. All that really was a progression of being able to push their storyline inside of a storyline that didn't need to be messed with. You didn't need to be in there hurting what other people are already doing. AJ Styles actually made Roman Reigns look pretty good in the ring, if I can say so myself. You know, it's just one of those things. I like the dynamic of having Anderson and Gallows, you know, try to get involved once it's made like no DQ, no count out, whatever the hell it was. And AJ is completely resisting that whole story. I like that. I think it's turning out well. But in the end, Roman Reigns retains. And it's just, that's what we expected. I didn't expect anything less than Roman Reigns to retain during that match. And that's exactly what we got. We got Roman Reigns going over. Still the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And that's just the way things are. So now let's move on into Raw. Raw post Payback was not exactly the best show in the world in my eyes. We had Cesaro defeating Kevin Owens by DQ. Tyler Breeze defeated Goldust, which, you know, Tyler Breeze is really kind of on the rocks anyway. Goldust is one of those guys that probably should have hung it up a long time ago and didn't. But he's still entertaining. He's more entertaining to watch than a lot of these other guys are. So, got that. WWE Tag Team Champions, The New Day, and Colin Cassidy defeated the Vaudevillains and the Dudley Boys. I'm a little bit confused on that one. I guess they're trying to push the New Day more toward the face side during this whole thing, because the Dudley Boys are definitely heel. The Vaudevillains are definitely heel. There's no, I mean, you've got villains right there in the title of their name. They are definitely the bad guys. And the New Day has kind of been really on the fence for a long time. I mean, the crowd chants New Day sucks, but I think they really enjoy doing it because they get that rise out of the New Day that they're expecting to get. And I think the New Day plays that off really well. That's just me. Overall, not a terrible match, though, considering the circumstances. Emma defeated Becky Lynch, which was one of those things. I really like Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is like sexiness in a bottle to me, but that's just my opinion on the matter. Stephanie McMahon canceled the Ambrose Asylum. This one, the next one was one of those things that just really kind of irked me. We've got a battle royal to determine the number one contender for the U.S. Championship. And it could have been anyone. It could have been anyone in that ring during the match. It could have been anyone. But instead, we get one more big guy to go over in the match to just essentially replace Ryback in his role against Kalisto, with Rusev winning. I mean, we had almost like it was on SmackDown, but we had like a complete and total breakdown of the League of Nations, so that's kind of not even a thing anymore now. But I don't know. I would like to see Kalisto actually go up against like some other guys that are his size. Other guys that he can actually wrestle against, that it's going to make a difference and he can actually put on a good show with. There's not a whole lot that Rusev can do in the way of, you know, hitting spots or anything that would appeal to the fans the way that Kalisto does. So to me, it just feels like a wasted space. Rusev's not a bad character. He's not. Well, he's kind of bad on the microphone. He's not bad in the ring, but he's just not Kalisto. He's not a good pairing for Kalisto in my mind. You know, I don't know what more to say about it. Charlotte and Rick came out and addressed like I said before, what they're considering the Chicago screw job now. Had referee Charles Robinson, also known as Little Nate, for a long time, come out and explain his actions and blah blah blah. She didn't tap out physically, but he hurt her giving up because she just sucks at life and she couldn't take it anymore. And I don't know what to say about this anymore. I really don't like this angle. I really don't like this story. I really don't like Charlotte. That's probably one of the biggest things on through this whole ordeal for me is the fact that I just don't like Charlotte at all. I don't like her, and it's never going to change. I can't get over that fact. I don't think she's that appealing to look at either. I think she's kind of fugly, but it is what it is. And then the main event for the night, AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson, the 3 members of the Bullet Club that are on Raw currently, go up against Roman Reigns and the Usos. And they won. They beat the Usos. It was the post-match shenanigans, we'll call them shenanigans, that really kind of threw me off a little bit. You've got Anderson and Gallows that, you know, they want AJ to beat up on Roman Reigns, and he doesn't want to do it. He wants to do the good guy thing, and he wants to be respectable, and he wants to make his name in the WWE the way that he wants to, and he doesn't want to conform to these guys. And they bring in a chair. He refuses to use it. The brawl ensues. The Usos come in, and you know, they get taken out by AJ Styles, and then Roman Reigns comes to, and oh my God, he beat up my family. He beat up my family. I have to take him out now. And then it makes Roman Reigns look like the bad guy. Now, if this is what the story they're going with, and they're going to essentially try to turn Roman Reigns heel here by making him act like that and make more of AJ Styles out to be the face, then okay, because that's what they need to do anyway. The fans absolutely hate Roman Reigns, unless they're like previous John Cena fans and they're like kids and a little bit mentally tipped a little in the head. But for the most part, nobody likes Roman Reigns. I don't like Roman Reigns. My cousin that I go to shows with and hang out with, he absolutely loves Roman Reigns, but he's a little, it's just one of those things. I don't like him. I like the idea of backstage politics, and I like the idea of things from a writing perspective, because that's what I've done for so long. And Roman Reigns just does not fall into that category for me because he is completely awful. So it's going to be interesting to see where we go from here. My theory of Finn Balor is kind of on the shelf at the moment because he was given the opportunity to, you know, try again for the NXT Championship. Hopefully this is like his way of putting Samoa Joe over, and he loses, and then we see him end up on Raw as the mastermind behind everything that went on between AJ Styles, or not, he wouldn't be on Raw. He would make his debut at Extreme Rules, which would be completely awesome in my mind. So there's still hope. We just have to wait and see over the next like 2 or 3 weeks, however long it is. I'm not sure exactly how much longer we've got, but we'll cover it. I'm going to try and make these a weekly thing where we cover Raw, SmackDown, and we'll go over the pay-per-views as well. But alright guys, that's going to be it for this episode. There's not really much else we can discuss. If you guys want to discuss WWE and things of that nature going on within the WWE, comment down below and we'll do so. But as for now, that's going to be it for this episode. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Later.